guys. Welcome to another edition of Hey Fam, how are you? Well, we came to you last week, and last week was actually pretty good. We got some things established. We did a dry run, and went on ahead and posted it on our social media sites. We posted it on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, you can tell we did our very first one. Yeah, you can. But guess what? It's going to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And by the time it's all over with, we're going to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, okay? So it will all start with you, and we really, truly need your help. We need you to help us to grow big. Why? Because it's beneficial to us all, right? Because we're one big happy family, okay? There is no little you, no big I, no big you, no little I. We're just all family. And that's what this show is all about. Being able to talk, converse with each other, see how each person is doing, give our points of views on things. Will we be right all the time?
Yeah.
Yes, we will. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be all right some of the times. But it's just our point of view.
Yeah.
And it's okay for our point of view. And guess what? I was looking outside the camera, so you probably going to see me. They're here trying to direct me on which way to look. They're standing up with little pointy things. But it's okay.
That's right.
We just get this together, and I'm probably going to do this throughout the whole entire thing. I don't know, because I don't listen to instructions very well. I try, but it doesn't work all the time. But in the meantime and in between time, we're going to get this party started right. So we getting ready to set it off, right?
Set it off.
Set it off. On the left. That's not for Tisha. On the left to me, guys. Okay, if you remember her from last year. Oh, Jesus. Was it
last week?
Last
Yeah.
week. You see what I'm talking about? You're going to see all these bloopers, and we're not cutting none of them out of here either.
That's right.
Okay, so you're going to see her more and more on the show. Why? Because she brings balance, right? She's the voice of reason. You're going to see her break out a little bit, though. She'll break out. I promise. She will. Anyway, Dr. Fisher, how are you doing today? Let me ask you that first of all.
You know what, Dr. Candace? I am doing really well today. I had a great day. It was my day off from my regular job, and it was really good. Yeah, thank you. How about you? How are you doing?
I couldn't wait to get out of that place. Do you understand me? I could not wait. It's been a great week. It's been a very busy week. I would like to be able to really, truly just chill. And I'll be able to do that next week before I hop on a plane. So that's going to be good, guys. Anyway, so you're not going to see me. We're taping several shows in this one setting. So you're going to see us change our clothes. We're not doing it live in front of you, but we're going to come back and we're going to have on a different top or whatever. But just know we did this in one setting. Okay? One setting. And they're telling me to turn my face to this camera. Hey. How are you? Okay. And with that being said, we're talking about something that's so important. Family dynamics is not like how it used to be. You know? We used to look at, remember the show Leave It to Beaver?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the other one? The Leave It to Beaver, and the other one with the the man with the 3 kids. My 3 sons. Father Knows Best, and all of those, right? And then the Brady Bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the Brady Bunch first dealt with blended families.
Yeah, they did.
And they did an excellent job with the blended family thing. But you saw so many, the Cosby Show. Cosby Show was great. And then you had, what was the name of that family, the white family that they were so dysfunctional that Cosby had to come out. They had the mother and the father and the crazy teenagers. And it started showing you that family is not like how it was in the 50s with everything all okie dokie, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was okie dokie. People are people. And with people being people, people have issues. Every last one of us. And we got to live together.
They have to live together.
And I'm sweating. So hold on one second and keep talking, Dr. Fatisha.
All right.
While
she's taking care of that. Yeah, she is actually absolutely correct. It also, all those shows actually did show that there was dysfunction, and it continues to be dysfunction in families, and it's okay because that's the way it is, because if nobody's perfect.
What about Sanford and Son? It was just a father, an old cantankerous father, and a young son who was trying to be hip. That was a good show too.
What about the Drummonds? Had the Willis. You know what I'm talking about, right?
We're moving on up. What's the name of that show?
That's Jefferson.
Yeah, that's Jefferson. But they it was a Caucasian man. He adopted the two children, right?
Yes.
Can't remember the name of it. I look at it all the time. Different Strokes? No.
Different Strokes?
Different Strokes.
It was Different Strokes?
Okay, Different Strokes, yeah.
Okay. So you were saying then that the notion that families had it all together, that it was mother, father, children in the house, it was shown way back then that was not the truth.
That's right.
People have been getting divorced since the early 1900s.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
It is.
So it used to be that it was mother, father, children. And then all of a sudden, you started seeing women divorcing their husbands divorcing their wives, single families. You saw, and one of the things I want to talk about, because we're always talking about black fathers, the missing of black fathers. But what about the missing of white fathers?
That's right.
Because a lot of them left and started other families and never went back to their first family. But they didn't talk about that. They kept talking about the missing fathers in the black families. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to unpack in this thing when we're talking about diverse family structure. Because what we think of as the traditional family really and truly is not the only family. It's neither good nor bad. There are good parts and there are bad parts, because you can have two parents in the same household and that father is a dweeb, adult, not so nice name.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
He can be here, doesn't spend time.
Yeah. So you can make it work. What do you see in your practice, especially when we're talking about the children?
Okay, so when we're talking about the children, I'm going to go over to so I do see where children are being raised, where there's a lot of single mothers that are out there, but I have a lot that are divorced. Okay, so then they might have been, they were together, then they're divorced, and then the children are being split up between the parents, because there's some like the families are still together, so they may have it where the children are going like 50% to the mother and 50% to the father, and then sometimes like every week they're going to different places, hopping around, and that doesn't appear to be too well for many of the ones that I see, because they have different family dynamics where one parent is parenting one way and another parent is parenting the other way. One is more strict and one is not, and so they're going back and forth to each house. They were with mama who was very, very strict and daddy who wasn't, and then or vice versa. And by the time they come back, they're all like they don't, and then they say, well, Johnny has all these issues. Well, Johnny has these issues because you all are not keeping some things together for them. So there's a lot of dynamics, some stuff like that, because they have to deal with a lot of things going on. And then we have those who are being raised by their grandparents. A lot of people children being raised by their grandparents, from the time they were born to the time maybe they were toddlers, or the time they were 5 years old or whatever, and then they're having to raise children all over again. And sometimes I feel kind of sad for them, only because these children are really, really active and sometimes misbehaving, and then that causes them to be tired and they're going. And then someone will say, "I raised my children," but when I say to them, you know what? But guess what? You're doing such a great job because if they didn't have you, then where would they be at?
In foster care.
In foster care, yeah. And there's a lot of children in foster care too. We talk about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first came to Flagler County, we would go to the Cracker Barrel, and when we were at the Cracker Barrel, there was like 4 sets of grandparents that literally had their grandchildren, and they would all sit together in this little group. They have a table right here, table right there, all conversing with each other. But what was so startling to me is these people were affluent. They were not run down. They were not trailer park or ghetto, in the projects or nothing like that. These people were affluent. When you would see the cars, and we go outside the Cracker Barrel and you see these cars they get into, you're like, okay, these people got money. But they was raising their grandchildren, and you could tell because of the conversations that they were having. People would say, like a waitress would come by and they say, "Oh, well, your grandchild, blah blah blah. Well, this is my child. I'm raising my, and they would tell people. And I thought about it. I'm like, these people are in their late 60s, early 70s, and some of them were late 70s, and this has now become normal. They say they actually had a support group for grandparents that age raising their children.
Wow.
And these were little bitty children. These were not big kids. They were like 4, 3.
And that's what I'm seeing too.
You're seeing it too in your practice.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah.
And the thing, the other thing that goes along, if you all know, we're all aging, right? Many of us are like over the 40, 50, whatever age.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine at 60, 70 years old having a 4 or 5 year old? Because I remember when mine were, our oldest is like 33. So I remember when we were in our 20s raising, but the patience is a little bit less, even with the grandchildren, you're like, okay, I'm glad that they're able to go home and spend some time with their families. So they're dealing with these issues. They're dealing with, being able to raise these children and still not having to go home, because they are the home.
Yeah.
They are the prime caregivers. They're the ones that are caring for them. They gotta, they have to feed them, clothe them, and
deal with the temper tantrums.
Yeah, because if I see them, guess what? They're having some temper tantrums. They're unfocused and they're having temper tantrums. So that's why I'm particularly seeing them in our practice. And that's why I say I feel like, wow, and it's admirable to see them, but at the same time, I'm like, well, when do they get their time? But they're doing, but if they didn't do it, then the children would be foster care. It would be.
Yeah.
And so it's good.
I told our children, I said, if by some chance, because, they tell you it's false that you can't get pregnant during menopause. You actually can get pregnant. I know somebody that was 62 years old that got pregnant. I told my kids, I said, let me tell you something right now. If I happen to get pregnant, one of y'all taking this baby and raising it. Do you understand? We need to get this straight right now.
Let them know up front, right?
And my husband was like, no, we'll raise her. I said, the devil is a liar. Big time liar. Somebody getting this child. So I said, which one of y'all gonna take the child? So of course my oldest daughter, Tovia, and my youngest son said, we'll take him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I was like, okay, thank you. At least I feel better,
That's right.
Just in case this happens, you gotta make all kinds of because I cannot fathom.
Couldn't fathom.
And so when I see these older people with these children, I feel so bad because it's exhausting taking care of kids.
Very.
Emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting, psychologically exhausting.
Yeah,
it's exhausting.
It's very exhausting. We have our grandchildren from like the end of May to the very beginning of August or late July.
Now that's good, Brad. parents.
Oh, thank you so much. But by the time last year came around, I was like, wow, that's a long time. And I ended up getting older. So the one's 10 and one is 8 years old. And so now we're getting into the preteens, the stuff like that and the different, and it's keeping them busy, making sure that, behavior wise that we're, conducting, like, this is how you're supposed to do it. This, keep making sure that they're fed and making sure that they're bathed, making sure, it was a lot. I said, okay, I do need. By the time they're going home, I'm like, okay. It's different because I'm older now. So that's why I say I understand. I'm like, I wonder how they're doing because they're doing it full time. It's
Well, there needs to be a support system for parents, no matter how you're parenting, no matter what parental style, what parental kind of household you come out of it, whether it's a single mother, a single father, whether it's grandparents, whether it's someone that, another thing is, blended families, you got a wife or a husband that's taking care of an invalid, their spouse.
Yes.
So they're still doing it by themselves. Absolutely. If it's a blended family and people trying to get along, trying to get together, you got kids, they're different ages. And then, like the Brady Bunch trying to come together and do this thing together, it's a lot. And so, people, there's not enough mental health practitioners out here to deal with these type of dynamics. And so a lot of times people don't want to stop, and they don't want to stop in the middle. First of all, they don't have no time to even get mental health.
No. They're busy. They're busy with school. Busy with getting. Some of them still working themselves. So.
Yeah, and so they're suffering.
They're suffering.
So everybody's just suffering.
Yeah. There's not enough mental health practitioners out there.
No.
People say that just taking them a long time to find some. And therapists, oh my goodness,
you cannot find them.
We can't find them. I said, please find somebody. Please find somebody. To be able to, to counsel you and talk to you because it's needed. And they'll say, oh, we can't find the people. I said, well, you know what? If you find someone that even if you're on your schedule for 4 months or 3 months, just get on your schedule, okay? Because it's really important, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really, and a lot of people want to do it from Zoom or, telehealth or whatever like that. So now it's hard to find in-person therapy. Well. And I tell them, I said, just find somebody. Even if just talk to them on Zoom, talk to them on telehealth, as long as you're talking to somebody.
Yeah, it's important, man. It's so important. When you don't have the right family structure, so many things happen. I look at, we got some statistics that I got from the from Google, and a lot of these kids are taken because nobody takes them, right? You have in the foster care system, the majority of the kids are in foster care, period, meaning they're in the system. They are not with a relative at all. A relative didn't take them in. So because of that, these are some chilling numbers. These kids are like thrown away. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They literally are thrown away. 45% are placed in a non-relative foster family home. Only 34% are placed in a relative foster family home. And 10% are placed in a group home. So it's less family members taking in children that's in the family. So that in and of itself is heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
You know what I mean? But I commend those that do take the family member in. That's some hard work. I mean, that is.
I have a couple of patients where their maternal aunt may have taken them in, or even the maternal cousin has taken them in. Every so, of course, it's the grandparents if they have whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the most. Yeah, but most of it are just those foster parents who are signing up into the system. Not as many family members though, and it could be many different reasons. Why they can't do it, but I don't know. I'm not sure really the statistics as to why are the family members not able to do it.
Take them in.
Yeah. Are they not given the opportunity? Did they not ask them, or did they not know what was going on? Were the family members like kind of somewhere where they didn't live around their close relatives, and no one, was able to do that?
Yeah. And I think too, the foster care system really truly wants to keep our kids. Period. They get paid. They get paid a lot of money. Pretty much kidnap our children. And they really do it to black children. So we'll talk about that. We're going to have a guest on in a little bit in the next episode. And she is a young lady who is at Flagler County High School. And she's going to tell us what she is seeing out there as far as the children, the young adults that are going through these types of situations. Well, guys, for right now, we're getting ready to end this episode, and we're going to come back to this with a guest. We may or may not change our clothes. We don't know, but this is going to be a second episode. And we're going to bring a young lady on with us named Honesty Ray, and she's going to talk about what she's actually seeing in the school system. So with that being said, we're out of here. Thank you for listening to us here at Hey Fam. How you doing? Until next time.